Experiencing a higher power on LSD and cannabis. A trip report by Vanilla, posted to the Vivec Discord. Preface. I've tripped on acid probably around 12 times prior to this, a fair few of these being absolutely life-changing, but nothing could prepare me for this latest trip. The trip started with 4 of my closest friends coming over to my house. All of us had planned on taking either LSD or 2CB. Myself and one of my friends took 4 tabs each. It's hard to gauge the exact dosage, as I'd gotten a bundle of 30 tabs ranging from 165 to 240 micrograms, so I'd guess that the dosage for me was around 700 to 800 micrograms, whereas the other 3 either had a single tab or some 2CB. About 30 minutes after consumption, we all went outside and smoked some weed, other than the friend who also dropped 4 tabs with me. It's worth noting this isn't something I'd normally do. Usually I'd give it a few hours before smoking weed when I'm tripping, but as everyone else was, I didn't think much of it. It felt social. The next couple of hours were amazing. One of my friends had bought his KRK speakers round, and it turned my living room into a mini rave. We had some absolute bangers on, and were dancing like no one was watching. The vibe was immaculate, and everyone was buzzing with positive energy. Like always when I take acid, I felt the best version of myself. We had some more weed and chilled out on the sofas for a bit, and this is where things started to get a bit messy for me. I began feeling a bit nauseous. I let my friends know, and one of them passed me a sick bowl while I remained seated. I remember feeling extremely annoyed because I'd never really had any sort of nausea on acid before, and it was ruining my good mood. I didn't end up throwing up, but the general nausea worsened. I started feeling really lethargic and a bit dissociated, like I wasn't truly present in my body. I was barely coherent to the others. I remember one of my friends explaining to one of the others that I might be going through an ego death. They hadn't heard of the concept, you see. Roughly 25 minutes pass, and I'm feeling much worse. Much worse. I tell everyone I'm going to go lay down in my bed. It takes me a while to get upstairs, but once I'm there I sit down and look out the window. I remember feeling an immense amount of dread at this point. Started to question whether it was actually acid I'd taken because it felt like I was dying. I couldn't get comfortable in my room. I ended up crawling around the top of the stairs and curled up on the carpet. I must have gotten comfy as I lay there for a bit. My friends came to check on me, and when one of them asked if I was okay, apparently I said, "I feel like I'm dying, but it feels so good." Around 20 minutes later, the nausea had started to dissipate, but my mind still feels a bit foggy. I return to my room and lie down in my bed. I stick my AirPods in and listen to a song called Welcome Home Son. It gave me such a positive feeling, and all my nausea had gone, and I truly felt amazing again. I continued to vibe to the music, but irrationally, I paused the song and quickly pulled out both earbuds. I've no idea why, but I did. I sat there for a moment, when all of a sudden I felt something I've never felt before. I felt a presence of some sort. Something which connected me with everything and everyone. I looked out my window, into the stars, and all I can think is, holy shit, it's real. I was feeling the presence of a higher power. It had no face, but when I looked into the stars I was certain it was there, something that is connecting us all. I was absolutely certain of this. I jumped back onto my bed and my hands are on my head in complete disbelief. I simply cannot comprehend what I'm experiencing. I begin shouting, oh my fucking god, it's real. In terms of visuals, I saw white-blue dots all across my arms. It was like they were glowing. Then I noticed I see these same dots on everything else I was looking at too, just adding to the whole connected with everything feeling going on. After probably about 40 minutes of me trying to comprehend everything, I returned downstairs and sat everyone down, then explained to them what I had actually just gone through. I go on to say, guys, I don't know if there's a god, but there is something. I've never been a religious person, so to speak, and hadn't ever mentioned anything like this before, so they were all quite intrigued, especially the 2 friends that also dropped acid. But despite the positive responses, they seemed a little withdrawn on what I was saying, which is completely understandable, as without experiencing it, you simply couldn't understand its profundity. Well, we continued the night off with more music, some great talks, and a level of bonding you only get with psychedelics. In conclusion, looking back on the trip now, I find it crazy how unprepared I was for such an experience. Because of this, I didn't take an opportunity to note any of my feelings or thoughts down. It would have been amazing if I had anything other than just the memories. All my previous acid trips have been amazing for self-growth, for my mental well-being, and to help steer my life in the direction I want. I thought I'd gone as deep as you could with this substance, but my oh my was I humbled in that respect. If I had to guess, it was probably the copious amounts of cannabis I consumed that sent me to this other level. But at the same time, I can't help but wonder whether this presence, this higher being, had caused me to feel the way I did at the start, leading me to go upstairs alone, so I could be enlightened. As mentioned, I've never been a religious person, always identified as agnostic, although it was quite half-hearted. But after this experience, I truly believe there's something out there. I have no idea what exactly, but there is something. After doing some research, it seemed really familiar with the universal mind lattice idea, an omnidirectional net of toroidal fountains and drains of infinite iridescent love and energy, connecting every being in existence. For the past few months, I'd been considering trying DMT for the first time, but I was never really sure if I was ready. Although, after this, I feel like it's time. I no longer have any anxiety about taking it. It truly feels like a sign from the universe.